Hello and welcome to Let's Play Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11. This is part 9 with Metal Hunter. So I went ahead and did some stuff off camera. I had mentioned last time that I might do that just to save the viewers some tedium and bookkeeping. A few things did happen, so I'll go through those real quick. This could be an interesting one here. So first of all, let's see, Jin Xuan down here actually took out Liu Dai. So he's got his second city and he was actually awarded a title, so he's now got the lowest title possible there. As well, I recruited two political officers down here. Let me just see here which particular ones they were. It was Gu Yong and Yan Jun. So we got those, and I've drilled the troops. As well, I went ahead and researched veteran troops, so we can get willpower of 120 on our units now. That's a big deal. I really like that. It allows you to use usually an extra tactic while you're in the field. And I went ahead and finished building the archer turrets up here with Lu Meng's unit and added one more archer turret here and then a fireball trap and sent him out again to put another archer turret here just to protect the northern border. And just as soon as I had started this archer turret here, I got news that rumors were spread in Shouchun by Cao Cao. When rumors get spread, your officer loyalty goes down, and so does the order of the city. And so I figured that was preempting an attack, and sure enough, the next turn, Cao Cao has dispatched 3 units against us. So this is going to be good, because I still do plan on marching out from Jian Ye against Wang Lang here to take out his 2 cities down here. So we're going to be fighting a war on 2 fronts, but I don't anticipate much trouble. I have gone and dispatched a transport unit with a bunch of equipment to Shouchun. So by the time the enemy officers and units get through here, they're going to stop and attack the archer turrets, maybe even stop and attack our development squares. So we'll have plenty of time to get our equipment up here, because we're actually pretty low on equipment. And then we've got some decent officers, so we'll fight them in the field, and they won't have much of a second wave because there's only 17,000 troops left in the city. So I'm going to go ahead. I haven't actually looked at who's in these units, but I just want to have a quick look, see what we're up against. So Xiahou Xiahou Hui, and Cao Ang. Xiahou really good, cavalry general. He's one of Cao Cao's top generals. Interestingly, he's got an eye patch here. He lost his eye actually in the course of the book. I had mentioned before I was going to go through and maybe talk about some anecdotes about some guys as they came up. So if you're at all interested in reading, there's a spoiler coming up here. If you play certain scenarios, he doesn't have the eye patch. Some guys have a young face and an old face, and his is the older version here because he's lost his eye. He actually was involved in the campaign against Lu Bu in the book, and Lu Bu's officer, I'm going to bring him up here, force officers, Cao Xing, who actually has the ability bowmanship. Cao Xing actually fired an arrow at Xiahou Dun. Xiahou Dun was fighting a duel with Gao Shun, I believe, and Gao Shun was retreating because he wasn't getting the best of the duel. So Xiahou Dun tried to run him down, and Cao Xing fired an arrow at him and hit Xiahou Dun in the eye. So Xiahou Dun yelled something to the effect of, "How could I lose a gift from my mother?" And so he ripped the arrow out of his eye with the eye still attached and then swallowed it, probably to intimidate the enemy army. And then he broke off pursuit of Gao Shun and then rode down Cao Xing and just stabbed him in the face. So I think it's kind of cool how they implement these skills here, like Cao Xing getting bowmanship for the obvious great shot to the eye of Xiahou Dun, and then Xiahou Dun with the eye patch for the rest of the game. So anyway, that's fairly interesting. Who else have we got here? Xu Huang in his own unit. So he might be a difficult unit to deal with depending on how they play him. He's Divine Spears, and he's actually wielding spears. So Divine Spears means his spear tactics will always crit if they were going to succeed in the first place. He's definitely one of my favorite officers from Wei, as well as my other maybe second favorite officer from Wei, Yue Jin, and he's got Chen Tai and Cao Mao with him. So this unit isn't going to be as big of a deal to deal with, but 2 spear units and a cavalry unit with a cavalry general. So I'll just send out some spear units of my own, and it really shouldn't be a big deal. Spear units backed up with bows, and I've got some decent officers. I've still got Sun Jian, Gan Ning, Zhou Yu, Han Dang, Ding Feng, and Ling Tong still in the area, with the rest of the officers dispatched mostly down here to take out Wu and I think it's Hui Ji down here. Yeah. So I believe I've done all my actions for this turn, so we'll go ahead and advance here and see what comes. And actually, one thing that's going to work in our favor here is even though he's Divine Spears, the 2 spear units will do poorly against our pike unit. And we actually have a pike general in Ling Tong, so he might actually be able to just wipe these guys up because pikes do well against spears. So I'm going to quickly bring Lumeng back to the city. I don't think I need to drill these guys. I drilled all the cities again once we got veteran troops up there. This transport unit actually has Handong, Jiangqin, and Sun Jiao. I threw in Sun Jiao for the transport aspect to get it there faster, but it's carrying 8,000 of each of the major equipment types for us to bolster a bit more. I think we're down to like 2,000 for some of the others. Yeah, 2,000, 2,500, and 4,000 crossbows. So we'll be able to hold them off. I really am hoping that Lu Bu doesn't decide to attack us as well, but we're still on neutral terms with Lu Bu, so we should be okay. I might have actually made a mistake. I thought Shochun was going to be fairly easy to defend, but I've since read from a few people over various places on the internet that the AI prioritizes Shochun fairly highly on their attack list. I don't know what it is about the city, but I guess they will try harder to take it than, say, other cities. But, yeah. Alright, so let's try and send some units out here. We're going to march on Wu. So let's go ahead. We're going to send out our Ram unit first. This doesn't actually have to be the full 7,000 troops, so I can send this out with, say, 4,500. That's totally fine. Alright, so the last time I think we had... Who do we have in this unit? I can't remember. I think Chung Pu might have actually been part of this unit with, say... No, we didn't have Lu Kai, because I think I just got him. Let's send out Liu Yi, because he's got an S in weaponry. So these two together, and 200 days ought to be fine. So I'm just going to actually click the building, or the city here, as to where to go. I've noticed in multiplayer, if you click on the city itself to tell them where the unit's going, the other player will get a notice saying they're being attacked because that unit has actually been strictly told to attack that city. But you can target squares around the city and they won't get a notice. So I'm going to do my best to actually just send this guy straight to the city and not any squares surrounding here. Otherwise, like, Lu Bu might recognize that we're coming by and he might send an officer down here to start trouble, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. So, alright, so Jiling is going to be a spear unit. Let's see. I guess we've only got one other S for spears. So let's, actually we can send Lu Kang out there with them. Spears, 6,700. We're not going to need too many troops to take this city because by the time they come and meet us, they're not going to have many troops. They'll have to leave some in the city, so we might only have to defeat like 5,000-6,000. So, and I don't mind leaving this city fairly empty. It's not going to be a huge deal. So, Zhoutai Liu Shun, send them with some pikes. And then we'll march bow unit. Let's see, who else do I want to send out here? I guess we'll send Xu Sheng. The intelligence of this unit isn't great, but it'll be more than okay, I suppose, to get the job done. Still 20,000 troops here. I don't think I have enough. Yeah, I don't have any more equipment to send them out with, so we'll just call that good for now. I'm going to continue outfitting equipment up here. Until Cao Cao decided to attack, I was actually making stockpiles so that we could march on Jiangxia over here that's held by Guanqijian. I hate this city. I don't normally like taking it, but I just wanted to expand and keep things interesting. And honestly, I didn't want to expand against Cao Cao or Lu Bu right away. I want to give them the opportunity to expand, get a little bit bigger, because otherwise, if I was to roll over Cao Cao really quick here, we'd get some really good officers and at least one really good city with another easily defensible one, and the game would just get a lot easier. So I think we have enough food here to hold out, and we might actually get more food as we defeat these units. They're probably get half their food, I believe, is what happens there. So we don't have to reward anyone, and I believe I took care of the order in this city, so... Yeah, so they're stopping to attack the archer turrets. These also have a zone of control, so they won't be able to move past them quickly. And so what the archer turrets do, you can see the zone of control here, and any enemy unit within that area will get shot by arrows. They won't take much damage, like this one took 346 on the attack. But it fires on every single unit in the area, so if he gets 3 units in here, this tower might actually do 1,000 damage on its own next time. So, and if they come around this side to attack it, this archer turret will hit it too. And then if they decide to take even longer and come by and attack our development squares, this one will get to them while they do that. So, alright. I've got my efficacy General Yansheng here, just so we can build up our stockpiles without too much expense. And then we'll just advance this and let these guys go to work. My fear up here at the, or I guess down here, more appropriately, my fear down here is that we don't have enough food to take both cities, but we should be okay. Alright, so he's destroyed the first archer turret, but we're going to get this unit into the city, and we'll be able to march out guys to beat them in the field soon enough. And I might actually march a unit out now, just a bow unit, with Zhou Yu and let's say Lumang. Let's do that, and we can even just send them out for, say, not with a whole lot of food. We'll do this because if we hit this with a fire attack, it hits 3 squares in front of it with fire, so if they line up and come after it, if they don't attack it right away, then we might be able to just hit them with it. I normally don't use traps, but I figured why not? I had some time to kill, and I've actually got Zhou Yu, and he's got Divine Fire, so it might be relevant. I'm going to quickly go ahead and save this, though, because this game is fairly unstable. No one needs rewarding. I am checking now because I don't have a Benevolent Ruler, or someone with a Benevolent Rule skill in Jian Ye, so it will be relevant. Alright. So this is quickly starting to cost, but I've got, yeah, 4,500 gold in the port up there, so... It's got Fuqian, Yufan, and Shenying. Oh, Pike General, okay. With okay war, but the Pike General himself does not. And then Dongxi, who I am interested in recruiting. He's got a good Navy skill, and he was typically a Wu officer, so we will... Yeah, and like I said, they weren't going to have a whole lot of troops to send out, so they left 8,000 in the city, so we're only fighting like 4,000. Alright. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Divine Fire skill actually meant that we don't take damage from fire. So even though we would have been hit by that fireball, because I can't count squares, I guess I'm at the very edge of its range, that could have hurt us, but it didn't end up mattering, so... Alright, we'll have these guys remain in Shochun. Alright, I just want to see... We can't really get close enough for an attack here, but let's march out some guys. Sunjian, let's send him with Ganning with some spears. Again, we don't need to send them out with a whole lot of food, because we're going to be just fighting a defensive war, so let's just send them out with a nice round 10,000 number. And we'll send out our Pike General Ling Tong with, let's say, He Chi for the higher leadership, and then maybe Zhuge Ke for the intel on the unit. What is that, 19 in the field? I have even more bows, so let's see what we've got for a bow general. I'll wait for now. Maybe those 4,000 will be okay. Well, I've got another Pike General here too, actually, Chen Wu. Yeah, let's send out Chen Wu with someone. Zhuge Jin. And... Actually, maybe I'll do that next turn because I have 3 officers that are waiting to dispatch that are unavailable this turn. So, okay, so Lu Bu is taking some damage here just because we have enemy units near the port. I hope that doesn't count as an aggressive act, but we will see. Let's just... Yeah, I guess they won't be able to come at us because our buildings will have a zone of control as well, so they're going to have to kind of come around this way. And this is all swampy, so the cavalry might not do that great as long as we stay in the swamp. So they won't be able to charge. Because my fear, I've had guys die in the past, and it's kind of wrenching when you really like the officer that dies. So the last playthrough I did, Han Dong actually aided in a cavalry charge, and I was not impressed because he had a lot of deeds. So I get nervous when there's a cavalry unit led by a cavalry general with a war in the 90s. So Shahudun is, yeah, war of just 90, but there's always that possibility that you're going to lose a good officer. So it's nice to be able to fight them in the swamp and not worry about that so much. Alright, let's advance and see what happens here. Wang Long sent his guys back into the city, so... Yeah, okay, so they've split their army. This should be fairly easy because the AI isn't good at prioritizing. Alright, so spears with our pikes. This might even just be... Oh, failed attack. Still fairly significant though. And this is where zone of control is working against us though. We can't move past this port very fast even though we're not attacking them. Let's just hit him with a blaze. He'll probably prioritize our juggernauts, but I'm confident with the amount of troops inside the city and what we've got to support it. That'll still not matter even if he attacks us once there. Alright, so we've got spears. Kind of, I would like to have been able to push him up here. That won't work. Oh, that's unfortunate. Lu Meng actually has an altered portrait done by someone on the internet, and I guess I don't have it loaded right now. There's only so many slots for crit portraits, so you've got to move other crit portraits out of the game to make room for the new ones. And I guess I just didn't have enough room to put him in, but I'll rectify that because I expect to be using him quite a bit. So, all right, let's get up here and rush the cavalry unit. Confuse him, steal 20 will, and do 1200 damage. I'm okay with that. And then we will, I guess, Rake is going to pull him out of the fire, but I'd rather just do some decent damage to him. Yeah, we have a pike general here, but Hui Ji has actually gotten a boost in this X series. So he's got a war of 93, and I think Ling Tong is like 90 or 91 right now. So it's not going to auto-crit. Yeah, war of 90. So it's not quite the auto-crit I was hoping for, but let's just keep outfitting. Because why not? We have the money for now. And I'm not going to bother trying to recruit any of the other guys that are prisoner here right now. I might just let people join me as they see fit. Yeah, like this, Wei Miao. Okay. Again, I'm not going to turn away anyone like that. Gutan of Wang Lang's army. Please agree to a ceasefire. So I'm going to refuse that. I've had people offer ceasefires of very long periods before, and sometimes I forget that 2 months isn't 2 turns, like in some of the previous games. That's actually 6 turns at 2 months. I've had someone offer a ceasefire for 24 months before, and I accepted thinking it was only 24 turns. Meanwhile, I couldn't fight him for a good portion of the game. Oh, I just accepted anyway. Oh, I wasn't paying attention because I was talking. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't even think I can do anything to him. Nope, I can't. Oh, that's very unfortunate that I did that. Because that's going to be 6 turns waiting out in the field. So maybe I'll just have them sit there for now. That's time, though, and I think it's been a little while since I last saved, but oh man, I can't believe I accepted that after even talking about it. So I'm going to stop the video here for now. I'll pick it up after and I'll decide what I'm going to do. Anyhow, thanks for watching. We'll go to part 10 after this.